Welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Talk Show. This is the Realtor division of the Real Estate Talk Show, and we've got a special treat for you guys today. It is Dan Kaminsky, founder of, co-founder of HomeAdNet. We actually have Dima on the line as well. I'm going to introduce both of these guys. Dima's a little more shy, but we'll introduce them anyways. I'm just going to mute everybody so we can get rid of all the, there we go. And I just muted everybody. We always do a technical check. Can you guys who are on the call right now just confirm that you can hear my voice and just punch me a little message? Anybody that you can hear my voice and still see the screen? Good. We're good to go. So we're here to talk about a very new discussion, and that is around HomeAdNet. Now, HomeAdNet was created by two gentlemen, Dan Kaminsky and Dima Svirit. Forgive me, Dima, if I'm mispronouncing your name, but I've got you guys on mute. Actually, I'm going to unmute Dima and Dan. I can hear you guys, so just be conscious of noise. Dan, can you say hello to everybody?
How's it going, Simon, and everyone?
And Dima, say hello as well.
Hello, guys.
The wonders of technology. So we're here to talk about HomeAdNet, and HomeAdNet is a lot of things, but it's also something that simplifies things for realtors. So I'm going to start off by introducing everybody to Dan Kaminsky, and there's a lovely photo of Dan with a bow tie, very dapper, Mr. Kaminsky, and Dan is the co-founder, CEO of HomeAdNet. So Dan, I'm going to give you the mic. I'm going to so that our viewers and listeners can actually see your screen instead of mine, and you can walk us through this because you know it better than anybody. So let me see now. You've got the mic, and I'll verify when I can see your screen. There we go. So, Dan, what is HomeAdNet?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us here, Simon. We appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
HomeAdNet is it's a combination of numerous things. On a very simple, high level, HomeAdNet was created to help agents, brokers to manage their online personas, as we like to say. If you think of all the things that you need to do online, and you combine them into one portal, for example. Everyone's trying to figure out how can I be social? How can I leverage social media? How can I make my website a little bit more dynamic and interesting so my customers and clients will actually come check me out once in a while? And how do I improve my Google rankings? All the things that you want to do better, we've sort of combined them all together into one place and let you access them with one login.
And maybe even some things from my observation that you didn't know that you wanted to do better, but now are learning about.
Well, as we're learning, I mean, one thing we've sort of picked up on, I mean, I think agents are social by nature, and I think a lot of them don't realize it. So this really gives them a voice to share their personalities and really leverage things they can learn by paying attention to their industry a little bit more intimately, where they can connect with a lot of agents in their same city or even other cities. I mean, it's an international business, and there's lots to learn and a lot of resources out there, and the more you can educate yourself, the better. And it's really interesting to see how agents in different markets actually can communicate and really pick up some tips and tricks and ideas for their own local businesses.
So I want to interject here and tell our listeners, because we've got a lot of different realtors from across the country listening into this interview, as well as some of the people in our team, some of the people in our Mastermind network. And what Dan and Dima have been kind enough to do for us is allow us to set up a free account on HomeAdNet, which will be, this version of the account will be free forever, but just to our Mastermind group. And the reason Dan is doing this, if you're wondering, is, free always comes with a price. Dan is looking for feedback from the top agents in the country on how to improve this system. And there certainly could be upgrade versions in future, but we're talking about a chance to participate in something that I see has great potential and to do it for free. So so far, Dan, any agent can set up a free account on HomeAdNet, and when they do that, first of all, show us quickly how, if you wanted to sign up for a free account, how would you do that? And then what do you get? Like, how does it work?
Well, I mean, signing up is really simple. I'm actually currently logged in right now, but our main website address is homeadnet.com. You'll see a big sign up button. As simple as that. You just put some very basic information. You get to choose a unique page name. Think of your page name as like your Twitter or Facebook handle, your unique identifier, and we'll send you a confirmation email, and you click on it, and you'll end up here. And this is basically your homepage. We call this part the Home Advantage Network. I mean, that's where our name came from. Really, this is a network environment where we can see activity from everyone. Right now, I'm looking at, if you look here, it says all networks. So we're basically looking at everybody who's coming on, who's joining us, who's sharing us, sharing information. Here's a familiar face right here. So this is really your dashboard and your main control center for everything that you need to do. Here you follow what's going on. You have a blogger. So if you like to blog, you can create your blogs here. I've got some different topics that I've covered here. You can create your own property listings. I'll dive a little deeper into the property listing later because there's a big discussion about how to manage your property listings. We also have a message center where you can connect with your contacts on the network, and you can also send emails to third-party email. And again, we can get really deep in here because you can actually create some very newsletter quality emails if you want to share property listings and some of your blogs to specific clients and have it presented in a really nice presentation format.
Okay.
So,
well, let's take it back a step because you've covered a lot of stuff, and I'm a slow study. So let's first talk about, looking at the network. When you're talking about network, you're of course talking about all the other agents on the system, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, so number one, you get to network with other agents, not just in our market area, but really all over the world, because I know you've got HomeAdNet members in the U.S. as well as in Canada. And what do you see as the benefit of that?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think just having your finger on the pulse of the real estate industry as a whole. I mean, markets to markets, trends, techniques people are using, marketing ideas. Just really, absorbing yourself in the real estate industry. I mean, obviously, agents are used to networking with agents in their own markets, via the buyer and seller relationships.
Okay.
But it's a big world out there, and ideas come from close and from afar. And seeing what agents are doing in different markets, some markets might be ahead of a curve. So it's a good way just to keep your finger on the pulse. Yeah. And really educate yourself.
Well, you sort of alluded to another value that I see in looking at this, having access to this network, and that is, by looking at other members' page on HomeAdNet, you can actually see their blog accounts. And if there's a prolific blogger out there, let's say we've got a blogger in the U.S. somewhere, just talking about what's commentary about the U.S. market. If you have Florida buyers, you can look at their commentary and you can share that information. You can also, I occasionally have a mental block when I want to think about what am I going to post onto Facebook, what am I going to put on my blog. Well, now you can see what other members are doing. You can get ideas and inspiration. And we don't recommend you steal it unless don't steal the content unless you give somebody credit. But you can get ideas and inspiration from other members blogging in their own markets and use that to write your own version. And what I like about this, if you want to highlight up at the top, Dan, the social media syndication, you can write one blog and actually push it to all your social media. So do you want to show us how to do that exactly?
Sure, and actually that's actually a very good segue, is how this does integrate with social media, because a lot of questions that we get from agents are how do I leverage social media? And a lot of them feel like they're wasting time sitting on Twitter and Facebook, in an environment really you've got all sorts of different people, not just agents. So here, in this environment, it's a very real estate focused network. So for example, why is that important? Well, we've got a nice little video here we created. This is our little avatar, Alex, who likes to follow you around the platform. So let's say this is a video that you really like. We're on YouTube, and you've done this before on Twitter, Facebook. You just go over to the link, and you just copy it with, with Control-C on your keyboard. And using the Go Social tool, if you just click Go Social and you paste it here, it's generating preview. And just by these tokens, I've connected these accounts in advance as a simple tool to connect your social accounts, but you can see through the preview and Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn icons is that when I post this now, click post, off it goes. That automatically goes to all of your social media accounts. So you can actually service all of your accounts from one place instead of having to log into each one separately. So not only is it a time saver, but it's a nice way to present yourself across multiple social networks with some of the things you're thinking about and want to share.
Okay. Now, you just showed us sort of the home page where we can see our blog posts and connect with other members. Can you show us what consumers would see of your website?
Sure. So, as we said, this is the network. Now, if you look up at the top here, there's a button that says Preview Website. If you click on that, I like to describe this as if you're all familiar with a hockey card. We have on the back of the hockey card, you've got a lot of statistical information, and really, people who really want to know this stuff will read the back. But most of us are going to look at the shiny front. And on our website, we call that our public website. This is what the consumer sees. So all of the blogs and things that you're creating and sharing within the network, you're actually, creating bits of content for your website. So if you look here, this is just a nice-looking website, and this was all created with the HomeAdNet tools. Well, we can dive in deeper later on how to do all of this. But there's some very simple.
So there's the video you just posted right there.
Well, absolutely.
Top center. Yeah.
So if you want to make your website more dynamic, it's a very easy way to post different videos, pictures, articles. I mean, the opportunities are really endless.
So your version, if I may, says "Welcome to HomeAdNet," but you're not a realtor. So if John Smith, realtor, signed up, then his version would say, "Welcome to my website," or "Welcome to the Markham Real Estate Watch," or whatever kind of branding they wanted to go with. And then all of the blogs and posts and listing updates are below that. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, all the content that you can create for your site, and really we could probably have a lesson for each module. But just a very simple, for example, welcome to HomeAdNet. Well, if we go in here, this is our website widgets, and I'm not going to go too deep in here, but just from a very, very simple level. And this may look like just a bunch of boxes on first view. It's actually a lot simpler. Here it says welcome to HomeAdNet. So I'm just going to change this to, I'm going to call it Welcome Mastermind.
Basically, you just clicked on edit, and you're going to hit save.
Save, and we just go back to our website. I'll just refresh because we made a change. Hit refresh, and if you watch right here, Welcome Mastermind. So it's really, really that simple. Every one of these blocks on my website were created through a real simple drag and drop system where you choose the type of content you want. If it's a simple title, if it's a block of text, you just go in, you edit it, you save it, and there you go. We don't have to really dive in how you do it on this call because one thing that all the listeners should know is we have this video tutorials button. So if you're a little confused and you want to spend 2 minutes, we have a library of all of our main modules, how to use widgets. You can press play, and it'll walk you through how to do it. Very, very simple, and you'll learn something in the process.
Well, let's show them one other thing, and we got to give credit to Big Al DeSimone for introducing us because he discovered your site before I did. Now, he's not on the call today because he just had a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Baby's literally, like, I think 2 days old, so big shout-out to Big Al for the baby at home. But let's have a look at his website.
Okay, so if we go in, let's go back into our network. I'm going to close this tab. Go back to square one. There's a couple ways to view all your contacts. Now, contact is like a friend on Facebook or someone you follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's more engaging than a follow, but if you see the icon here, I have 106 contacts, so I can simply click on my list and see everyone. Now, I have 106. I want to find Al pretty quickly. I know his first name is spelled A-L. I can just filter it, and he should pop right up somewhere. There he is. Let's take a look at his profile. So, as I explained, we've got the two sides of the hockey card. In the network environment, I'm looking at his activity, but if I want to see what he looks like in the public world, I'll just click on the public website button. This is a site that Al put together himself with all of the design and content tools we have. He customized the background. He's got this great new logo that he just had designed for him, which he actually had a nice contest that he shared with his clients and colleagues, which is a very good social activity.
Very smart. Yeah, I like the logo. Yeah.
And you can see he's got all different types. He specializes in condos, so he's got a little information about that and just a little bit about Toronto. And he's pieced this together with himself with the tools that we provided on HomeAdNet.
And he's showcasing his properties. He's got a couple of blog articles. See, again, we don't want you to copy Al's site exactly, but I believe it can give give us a lot of inspiration. And he's very active on there. And one of the questions we get a lot from agents through the Mastermind is, what do I post up there? There are paid services that charge you money to post to your Facebook and so on. You don't always need that. You can get inspiration from guys like Al. And what's interesting is you can now see their consumer-facing site, and you can also go back to the network site, so you can see Al's questions and interactions with other agents, and you'll see a lot of interesting stuff going back and forth, and you'll start to get a sense of who's active on the site, who's who's sharing ideas, who's not, and the general rule of thumb is the golden rule: give and you will get, but it has to start with giving. Sharing ideas and sharing questions.
Absolutely. And one other thing that's really interesting about HomeAdNet is that we are very content focused. We've got some great blogging resources, videos that you're going to see that will share good tips and tricks. Being social is a two-way conversation, and someone has to start that conversation. If it's constructive, if it's resourceful in an environment, and that people, topics that people want to hear about, it's a great opportunity for a back and forth, and it certainly is not one way, and that's what we hope HomeAdNet will become.
Now, we don't have time to go through the actual video tutorials, but can you just show us, what type of information is on the video tutorials for those that are nervous about, having to learn a new tech thing? Because I've gone on there, and actually it's really pretty straightforward, but the tutorial certainly helped. Can you walk us through that quickly?
Sure. Well, let's start with something very simple as a blog. I mean, every blogging website claims to be simple. In most cases, they are. But there's still a learning curve because a button is in a different place, and you just need to know where everything is. I mean, it's really, really that simple. So, for example, this is our Post tab. And we do have an overview video that explains what all these tabs are as well. So we make sure we cover all the topics. But let's say we want to create a blog. So we know enough to come into the Post tool, but we're not really sure, okay, well, what are the next steps? Well, you click on the video tutorial button, and this video tutorial module is smart. It actually follows you around. So in all the major modules, it highlights the video that you should be watching right at the top, and how to create blogs and articles. And it'll just load up here. I think it's a little slower because we're on the web call, but here we go. So I won't play the whole video, but you'll see momentarily. I'll just show you the first couple of steps. It'll just take you right from the beginning, how to start, and I'll let it go here. So I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it's showing you the module and showing you the first couple of steps, which I can probably show you easier, but just to know that it is simple to follow.
So that helps. We can't really hear what the dialogue is, but when you're actually on the site, then you'll hear it obviously crystal clear, and
it'll tell you to add new post. It'll tell you to how to create a title, page names, the types of things you can do when you're creating your blog, explaining how simple it is, like a word processor. And there's some additional real estate-friendly tools that we've built into the blogger, like being able to add your property listings and attach them to a blog. So when you publish them, you're creating additional visibility for the property listing. Because last we checked, at the end of the day, that's why we're all here.
Yeah, people, I mean, sometimes we lose sight of the fact that people are looking for houses. So anytime you can actually post something interesting and attach information about a house or a condo that they're looking for, you're going to get their attention. But what's interesting here is you can do the post, and even from here you can syndicate it to, like you can push it to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, just do it all at once. I don't have to do this 3 times?
Absolutely. Let me show you one with a completed blog. Obviously, we're not going to go through the process of creating a whole one. I'll just go back to the beginning. But let's say, for example, here's the HomeAdNet messaging blog I created a little while ago. So let's just pretend for a minute that I just finished typing it. I've added my tags. I've added some pictures, and then I'm ready to publish it. And then when you click publish, this Go Social box will come down automatically, and it'll have that little preview window. And again, click post. It's going to go to all my accounts, and off it goes. And something important to know, we put in, we call it the dumb check, is sometimes we do make mistakes. We're in a hurry. We've actually put a 2-minute delay on all the things that go out to social. So if you have made a mistake, you've got actually 2 minutes to cancel it. So and there's never a need to panic.
Interesting. Okay, so we've talked about contacts. We've talked about posting. Any other quick points you want to summarize? Already, I mean, it's free, so free is a great price. So thank you for that, Dan. But is there any other quick highlights you want to give us before we wrap?
Well, I can just show you how quickly it is to sort of customize your look. I mean, everyone has their own personality, and they want to know how can they look a little bit different. We have back on your home page, we have this little tab at the side called Website Appearance. And this is a nice way you can very simply choose a color scheme. So again, using my website as an example, let's look at it right now, just as a quick comparison. If you remember, I'm sort of in the purple colors. So let's say I want to change it to this color scheme. It simply is just click it and save, and off you go. You can change your banners. You can upload your own, but if you haven't got any on hand, we've actually created a library of free images that you're welcome to use. Just taking a second to load, but we have some pre-formatted banners, different styles, So you can go in and pick the one that you want, your font colors. Oh, here we go. So as you can see here, we have a whole library of images. So if you want to just pick a new one, and then it'll automatically update here. So take your own photo. If you don't have time, we've got them here for you.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Yep.
So I guess it's one of those things where, you know what, you just got to dive in there, play around with it, and it sounds like it's pretty intuitive.
Absolutely. And something that's sort of always working in the background is, and again, content is the most important thing that you could do for your business online. I mean, if you create one piece of content, one static website, and forget about it, you're not really getting any long-run benefits. But for websites that actually take the time to blog, share some content, the way we've architected this site is that you're getting a lot of Google benefits, actually. And the more content that you contribute to your own website, it's important to know that you own that content, and that ownership really means that content is attached to your website. If you created it, you're number one in the chain, and Google recognizes that, so you'll start to see some returns. And a lot of the users that have been testing our site, in fact, Simon, your own, if you Google your name, your website, HomeAdNet website is already showing up on page 1 of Google. And that's not too shabby for a free tool. So
yeah,
we can't promise
sounds great.
results. We can't promise first page results for everyone, but we certainly can ensure improvements if you practice creating content for your website.
Well, so you certainly impressed me with the limited time I've had to kind of play around with it. So we're looking forward to all of the upgrades and improvements that I'm sure are coming down the pipeline. And I know Dima's been pretty quiet, but Dima's on the call, and you're on this pretty much every day, aren't you, Dima?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, I'm trying to do a new release like at least once a week. So.
And so, you know, and you know, we're noticing we're getting suggestions from members. You know, can we do this? Can you add this? Can you change this functionality? And we're not going to bore our viewers and listeners with the long, detailed spreadsheet of all of the documented changes that you guys do. But I know you're working diligently in the background to make this even better as time goes on. So I think we've shared a lot of information. There's a great video on the main page that walks people through some of the basics again. So next step for all our Mastermind members is very, very simple. Go to HomeAdNet.com. If you haven't already done so, sign up for your free account and make sure to look for me and request connection. It's kind of like friending somebody on Facebook. And what we're going to try to do in conjunction with HomeAdNet is give you ideas for what to blog out, and all you got to do is look at it once a day or maybe once every couple of days, see what's there, look for inspiration, throw up a post, don't be nervous, and you know, just start building your profile, because the more it's one of those things where HomeAdNet can only do so much from a Google ranking standpoint. You've got to be active. You've got to start posting a few things, posting your listings, connecting with other members. And the more you do, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the more you do, the better your chances of improving your ranking. No?
Absolutely. It's called relevancy, and the more relevant you are, the more Google likes you.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap today's call. It's been very informative. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Dan Kaminsky and Dima Spheriad from HomeAdNet.com. So go to HomeAdNet.com. And my suggestion is do it now before you forget. It literally takes a minute to sign up, and then you're going to get an email verification that you just have to click on to verify. And then look through the list. First person I want you to request connection with is me, because I'm greedy like that, so, and I don't mind sharing information. And then, of course, anybody else, Al's doing some good stuff there. Connect with him. Connect with our real estate talk show profile on there as well. And let's just have a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, I believe this is another tool that is going to help us make the fall market that much stronger. And, hey, if you can get just one more client by engaging people with this platform, then I think it's worth the effort. And if you're wondering about time commitment, we're talking about a couple minutes a day just to make sure that you're staying on top of this stuff. So, gentlemen, thanks very much again. HomeAdNet.com, and this is another edition of the Real Estate Talk Show Realtor version. Have a great day, everyone, and go sell something.